Can hear me okay. So today is Sunday, January 21st, and we are getting ready to kick off our brand new January challenge group, New Year, No Fear. And I love this name because I feel like it is just so applicable for everyone who is getting ready to start their health and fitness journey. Um, I know when I started, which was like going on 2.5 years ago, you know, fear held me back from starting for I don't know how many years, a couple years at least. And, but I feel like you finally just get to that place in your life where you're just done. You're done with the excuses. You're ready to start making some changes in your life, and they're not always going to be easy. Like some days it's hard. And I can't remember if it was a quote that one of the trainers would say, or if it was just something that I saw, just an inspirational quote that I saw on Pinterest, but it says, you know, getting in shape and working out and eating healthy, like, is hard. But being uncomfortable with how you look and feel and just uncomfortable in your skin is hard too. And you just have to choose your hard. You have to choose which level of hard you're willing to wake up and live with every day. Are you going to choose the hard that is, putting in hard work and making that conscious effort to prepare healthy food and squeeze in that workout during the day, instead of, the hard that you've been living with, the hard where you just don't have enough energy, you just don't feel like yourself. We're all here for different reasons. Some of us are here for weight loss. Some of us are here more for the community and to just do something active, to be moving your body, to feel better about yourself and get some endorphins and just kind of be part of this like amazing fit family that we have, this like tribal community. That was a piece that I didn't even realize I was missing from my life until I joined a challenge group. That is the secret sauce that changed everything. Every workout attempt, every attempt to be healthy that I had made in the past that I failed at after 2 weeks and quit because there was nobody else there holding me accountable or checking in with me to make sure that I was doing the right things. Having this tribe and a coach and this support of other like-minded women that are all on the same journey, that is the secret sauce. That is like the kicker that will make you be here 2.5 years from now, still living the lifestyle. So, a little bit about my story. My name is Logan Underwood. I live in Kennewick, Washington, which is like southeastern Washington. There's quite a few of us in the group that are from this similar area, Tri-Cities. And, we're a farming family. My husband's a potato farmer. I am a labor and delivery nurse, and we have 3 kiddos. I started my journey when I was 9 months postpartum after baby number 2, which is Luke. And I am now currently 4 weeks postpartum from baby number 3, which is Lily. And you'll probably see her join us here before too long. I don't know how long she's going to hang out there with daddy before he decides to bring her in and join us. But when I started, it was August of 2015. My husband was in potato harvest. I was a beyond exhausted mom that was so uncomfortable in my skin. I still had like 10 to 12 pounds of baby weight, so I didn't quite fit into my clothes that I was wanting to wear. Trying to get ready for an event or anything, I'd find myself just like practically in tears in the closet because I didn't like the way anything fit. I had no energy to keep up with my kids. I was going through the Starbucks drive-through like every day because I didn't have the time to or the knowledge of what to make myself for breakfast that would be quick and simple and healthy and fuel me. So I was going through the drive-through, getting these massive sugary coffees and a breakfast sandwich. And then, the kids want cake pops. And so by the time we're, out the drive-through, it's like $12 later. And I finally got to the point where I was like, my only meals were like eating scraps off of their high chairs and stuff. And I just didn't have the energy to even get down on the floor and play with them. And I was so devastated about the kind of mom that I was becoming, because I never pictured myself just being this person that was like, crying every day and just so down on myself and just feeling like a failure as a mom. And I got to that point where enough was enough. And that was when I reached out to my coach and I joined a group, and literally everything changed. And I met all of these incredible women who have become my best friends. I'm still living the healthy lifestyle over 2 years later, and have really been blessed to bring a lot of new people on the journey with me as well to help hold me extra accountable. So I'm going to let a couple of the other girls that are helping lead the call introduce themselves, and then we will get rocking and rolling on our content tonight. So Haley, do you want to take over? Can't hear you. Where did your volume go?
Can you hear
There
me
you
now?
are. Yes.
That's so weird. Typically, it doesn't work if I don't have my headphones. But we're going to try it without. Okay.
Okay.
So I was saying, could you not read my lips? It's funny to hear Logan tell her story because, we always talk about attracting like-minded people, and, you want to find, the Haleys, like that's who I want to help. And my story is so similar to hers because my story was similar to her coach's and she was mine. So I started Beachbody when I was about 7 weeks postpartum with my second little girl. And I was in the same situation. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had come home from a full-time 8 to 5 physical therapy job when my oldest was about 6 months old. And so I was staying at home. I had a second baby, 2 babies in diaper, 21 months apart. And it was a lot. And I felt worn out, like in the morning. Like it wasn't at the end of the day. I was worn out in the morning. I was eating crap. I didn't want to get up out of our recliner because I was so tired. I just kept watching the clock for nap time. I cried in the closet trying to get ready for church because nothing fit. I didn't like looking in the mirror when I went to go get in the shower. I cringed when my husband would put his arms around me. And I just knew this was not the person I was supposed to be. This is not how I was supposed to feel. I mean, I have all these amazing blessings. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. We have these 2 beautiful girls, and I was just not feeling how I thought I should feel. And I knew a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was not eating right. I wasn't working out. And I felt kind of isolated because I don't know, other stay-at-home moms, you might feel the same way. You kind of tend to just stay at home and you say the ABCs a lot and you sweep up a lot of Cheerios. And so I knew I needed to change something. And that is when I got involved with Beachbody and went through my first 30-day challenge group, actually as a coach, which is really crazy to me. But it completely changed my life in so many ways. Within the first week, I was excited to wake up. I was excited to go work out. I still wasn't really excited to look in the mirror, but I took those pictures because I was really excited about the pictures that were going to come. And, in that first month, I lost weight and I lost inches. But more than anything, I wanted to play on the floor with my kids again. And I didn't want to sit in the chair all day. And I looked forward to when they woke up from their nap instead of looking forward to when they go down for a nap. And that was huge for me, you guys. It was so much more than fitting into a bikini. Well, yes, we were going to Mexico in 2 months. So that was my little push goal. But you guys, having that weight of just on the verge of depression, on the verge of just feeling alone, lifted off of me because of a simple workout and eating out of these containers and being surrounded by some incredible people, you guys, there's nothing like it. And I'm so excited for you to get to experience that too. So that's a little bit about my story. And my name's Haley. I don't even think I said that to start off with, but I'm so glad you guys are here. So I'm going to pass it to Leslie.
Hey guys, so I'm Leslie. I live in Tri-Cities with Logan, and my husband's a potato farmer as well, and I'm pretty much a stay-at-home mom and a Beachbody coach. So we have a blended family of 4 kids, which is pretty busy. So I found myself a little over a year and a half ago sitting on the couch like every single day and like wasting my life scrolling Facebook and, in between the mom life. And I was really depressed and anxious. I had been divorced before, and it was a really bad marriage, and I had gone through a lot of counseling, and they had me on all these medications, and, I was supposed to be better and happy, and I wasn't. And I did a lot of faking it, on Facebook, like I think a lot of us are guilty of doing. And I just didn't have any energy. I napped every single day. I coped with food and alcohol, and I was just in a really bad place. And I was watching Logan's post on Facebook and not being very nice about it, honestly. We laugh about it now, but I would see her post come up on my feed, and I barely knew Logan, just through the farming community and stuff, and I would just roll my eyes like, wow, you worked out today, good for you. Because you guys, hurting people hurt people, and I was jealous. I wanted what she had, and I could see that something was changing in her, even though I barely knew her. She was sharing her journey very vulnerably, and she was getting this spark back in her eyes, and it gives me goosebumps even to just say that, because I wanted it so bad. And she posted this picture of her, 30 years old, rocking her bikini on the beach in Mexico. And she had just shared a post about fear of failure, which I was just like, ugh, gut punch, right? Because I had a cupboard full of every health product in the world that I had bought and never used or tried and failed or whatever. And again, like Logan, I had reached that point where enough was enough. Like, I was sick of feeling all this guilt and shame about this should be happy, but not being happy and faking it. Like, I had all these reasons that I should be happy and I wasn't. And that really sucked. And so, I asked my husband, can I join this challenge group? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I was scared to death, you guys. I was scared to death. Like, I was like, they talk about like, you just got to believe in yourself and you got to do this. I didn't believe in myself. Okay. I was like, I'm going to fail at this. I'm probably going to last like 2 weeks. I'm going to suck at this. Like, I had all these negative thoughts. Okay. And that's the thing. You go into this one step in, not seeing the whole staircase. Okay. It's a leap of faith. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Okay. Because you guys just did the hardest part. You did the hardest part already. You got here, okay? And before I knew it, I was in this challenge group where I'm surrounded by like the world's best cheerleaders that are just gonna like pour belief into me, even though I feel crappy about myself. And here I am now. I lost 40 pounds. I've lost 40 pounds on my journey. I've been doing this a little over a year and a half. I got off high blood pressure meds, you guys. I had been on blood pressure meds for 9 years. I was like, just convinced I was going to die of cardiovascular disease. Like, that was just my future. It's cool. Like, that's just what was going to happen. And I got off them. Like, I was on 10 different medications like 2 years ago. And now I take two. And, 2 of those are antidepressants. Do I know if I'll ever get off those? No, I don't. Do I care? No, I don't. Because I am like happy and I'm present and I'm full of passion and purpose. And like Logan said, now I get to share my story with others and see how it impacts other people's lives. And I have this tribe. Okay. Is it all sunshine and rainbows? No. Do I fall on my face? Absolutely. Okay, it's not perfect. None of us are perfect at all. But that's what is the most amazing part, is that none of us, not Logan, not Haley, not Jordan, none of us will ever pretend to be perfect, you guys, ever. And do you know how refreshing that is? To like come to a place where you can be yourself and be vulnerable and be real, and nobody is looking at you like you're a failure. I don't know anywhere else that you can get that. And that's why this community is unlike any other. So you're going to love it. So go ahead, Jordan.
Hi, my name is Jordan Young. I live in Southern Illinois. And, you know, just like the other girls, we have a lot of stuff in common when it comes to telling our story, telling our why we're here, things like that. Logan is my coach, and April 1st will be a year for me. So I'm probably like the newest of the coaches in this group. But I watched Logan for a long time before I finally said, okay, let's do this. And that honestly was just because I was scared, and I was really lazy. Okay. Like, I knew I wanted it and I knew I needed it, but I just didn't want to. I just flat out didn't want to, because it's hard work, you know? Like getting yourself motivated to work out every day. And, you know, I had tried, like Leslie said, I had tried pills, I had tried drinks, I had tried, I don't know, like I've tried everything. Like, I'm not even kidding, everything. And the one piece that I feel was the huge breaker for me was the group. And I know there's a lot of people that will agree with me. So my husband and I are high school sweethearts, and we both work in corrections. He's an officer. I'm a nurse at our local prison. We are blessed with 2 little kids. But it was very, very stressful. They are 18 months apart. They were 2 kids under 2 is just insane. My mom called me, and I swear she does it every time. Okay, anyways, so 2 under 2 is insane. I don't advise it for anybody. You know, I love my kids, but holy crap, they were just, it was bad. My youngest just was not sleeping, and it caused a lot of problems for me, for my husband, our relationship. And from the time I had gotten married to having my second child, I had gained almost 85 pounds. And like with all of my diets, I would start them, I wouldn't finish them, they wouldn't work, I'd quit, I'd get frustrated. So then when I finally joined, I realized how broken I actually was, you know, and sometimes you think you know what the problem is, but you don't realize it until it basically smacks you in the face, which is what happened with me. And once I joined the tribe, I found all these new friends, you know, like I got all these new people and these new women in my life that were like pouring into me and making me feel good about myself when I was like so hard on myself, you know? And that was like the big breaker for me. And that's why I've stuck with it for almost a year now, and why I will stick with it for the rest of my life, because I have this community of women behind me, pushing me and, you know, cheering me on. So anyways, that's just a little about me. And one other thing that I really learned through this was, like, when I was going through all of those trials before I started this fitness journey, I thought I was the only person in the world having those problems. And then when I joined this, I was like, oh man, she's like me, and she's like me, and she had postpartum depression, and she had a C-section, and she gained weight, and da 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 da. You know, like all of these women had so many of the same issues that I did, and they were like right under my nose, you know. And now we're all best friends, and we share our struggles together, you know, and we get through them, and we laugh about them later, and we smile now. And so the group atmosphere has been very, very good for me. So
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Okay, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about mindset going into this 30-day challenge. As you heard from most of us that shared our story, you know, there was that struggle and there was that fear. And, you know, Jordan and Leslie both said, you know, they had tried so many different things. That was me too. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I tried Atkins and tried diet pills and diuretics. I cleaned out an old purse the other day and it brought back so much emotion because there was a package of diuretics in there. And it was just one of those things that I tried to do to look a certain way. And I'm so many things through my college, and I don't even know why my body is still around because I treated it like complete crap, to be honest. But now you guys, you're in this group, and this is a new story for you. This is a new chapter. What you've done in the past does not define you. Okay, you guys? What hasn't worked for you in the past doesn't mean anything for these next 30 days and beyond. That's in the past, and this is now. All right. I want you to think about, you know, in courts and the judiciary system, it's you are innocent until proven guilty, right? This is going to work for you. You have to go in believing that. You have to go in believing that this is going to be the change that you need. Okay, you can't go into it thinking, I know Leslie said, oh, it's not going to work for me. I'm going to last 2 weeks and then I'm going to be done or blah, blah, blah. And I know that's the initial thought because you want to kind of protect yourself from that fear of failing because we feel like we've failed so many times before and it's bound to happen again. But I just ask you guys to stop right now. Okay, innocent until proven guilty. This is going to work. Okay. And I want you guys to go all in with the nutrition, with the workouts, with the group, engaging in the group, posting and commenting and becoming friends with these people who are going on this journey with you. But I want to clarify, going all in on this journey does not mean all or nothing, because that was me before. It was, I either had to do it all perfectly and everything had to line up right. And if I failed one little time, if I missed one meal, if I went and ate out and had a margarita one time, I was done. It's like the saying, you know, like if you have a flat tire, you slash the other 3. That was me. I was all or nothing. And it's hard to be all or nothing. You guys, we are not asking for perfection here. We are asking that you take this one day at a time. And if you mess up, quotes, because we're not messing up, you guys, this is a lifestyle. This is something that we really want to create healthy habits for life. This is not a quick fix. So there's no messing up. This is life, and life happens. And look how many babies we have on this call right now. Like, babies are our bosses and things happen, you guys. That's okay. Wake up the next day, do better than you did yesterday. Or at dinner, do better than you did at lunch. You can start over at any time of the day, any day of the week. It doesn't have to be a Monday, doesn't have to be a morning. Okay, so I want you to go all in, but don't think about it as all or nothing. Do your best every day and think about the things that are going really, really great. Focus on that and figure out how to tweak the things that maybe didn't work so well that day. Because what you think is what it's going to be. If you go in thinking this isn't going to work, I'm going to be too tired, the workouts are going to be too hard, whatever it is, that's what it's going to be. That's all you're going to focus on. But if you go in thinking positively, thinking, I'm really excited for this, the workouts are going to be challenging, I'm going to feel stronger, I'm going to eat some really good food, I'm going to, whatever it is, keeping those positive thoughts in your head, that's what you're going to focus on then. What you think it's going to be, it will be. All right, you guys. So get in that mindset of putting things in the past, thinking about what's going to happen now, because the past does not define you. All right, you guys. Okay, Jordan, you want to talk to him a little bit about meal prepping and how to keep it easy?
Yep. So when I first started, I did kind of what Haley just said. I was like, I jumped in with both feet and like hit the ground running. Okay. But then 2 weeks into it, I hit that wall where I was like, oh my gosh, what, like a culture shock kind of that I was doing to my body, and for some reason, like at that 2 week mark, the meal prepping and the meal preparing and stuff kind of like, I don't want to say set me back, but it kind of just tripped me up a little bit. For some reason, I like way was overthinking the meal prepping and planning and all that stuff. And I made it way more complicated than what it has to be. People tend to overthink it, overdo it. You guys, the meal plans that come with these programs are so simple. Okay. You just can't overthink them. So first, what you need to do when you pick your program, you need to read start to finish the nutrition plan that comes with your program. Each program comes with its own nutrition plan for a reason, depending on what type of program you're doing. Okay. So you need to figure out what calorie bracket you're in, like what plan you're in, ABC, whatever, and then see how many containers you get every day. Okay. Once you have that figured out, then you're golden. All right. You just have to sit down, plan out what you're going to eat, and that's it. Okay. 2 things that helped me were the Fixate channel on BOD and Pinterest. Both of those places, you can find so many recipes. They're family friendly, kid friendly, and they're good. This food does not have to be boring, okay? It does not have to taste bland. It doesn't have to be gross. You have so many food options with these meal plans, okay? So when we talk about meal prepping, what we like to do is have you guys, like most people, not everybody, but most people have Monday through Friday jobs. So we typically will tell people on Saturday, you need to sit down and write out your meal plan and go grocery shopping after you have it made. And then on Sunday, you can make your food for the week. So if you're someone that has to prepare like lunch and like breakfast and lunch, or if you're someone that has to prepare like lunch and supper, you have to do what works for you and what's going to be most beneficial for you and your lifestyle. So for me personally, I would tend to need breakfast and lunch because that's the meals I was going to be gone for. So for me, Shakeology was perfect for my breakfast because I'm trying to get the kids out the door. I got to get to work, blah, blah, blah. And then for lunch, I am not someone who has to have a lot of variety. I'm very fortunate for that. There's some people that do, but I'm not one of them. So I can eat the same thing for lunch for an entire week. So I made it very simple. Everything that I eat for lunch can go on a sheet pan into the oven for 30 minutes, and then I scoop it into a bowl in the appropriate container counts, and that's it. You guys, do not overthink this. Do not overcomplicate it. And the list of foods that you have for the containers, they're like extremely long. So in no way, shape, or form does anyone tell you that you can't have that. You can't have that. You can only eat chicken. No. Okay. So not true. So the key thing though is really reading your nutrition plan and being prepared. Because if you are preparing, then you're really setting yourself up for success. And that's something that I found with this too, is if I would meal prep my foods, I would eat them, versus if I didn't have things prepared, then I was just going to grab something quick and simple out of the fridge or out of the pantry that wasn't going to be near as good for me. So just being prepared with your meals, setting a day of the week, the same day of the week that okay, on Sunday I have to do my meal prep, doing those steps, that's what's going to lead you to be successful in this journey. Okay. And if anybody has any problems with figuring out your containers, figuring out what plan you're in, you need meal suggestions, anything like that, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, because A, we've all been there on the struggle bus with the containers, and B, we've been doing this for a while, so we can give you some good tips. So,
alrighty. So now I'm going to talk to you guys about your basic recipe for success. So we've got our mindset on straight. We've got an idea on how to meal prep. And now a lot of the times when usually I'll hear this from people who haven't quite gotten into the groups yet. They'll see, my transformation photos that I share on social media, and they'll ask me, like, what do you do? Like, what did you do to get from here to here in like a 20-pound weight loss, in a matter of months? And I'll just tell them, I followed the recipe. The recipe is laid out black and white for all of us, thanks to Beachbody and the experts that create these programs. So it's really simple. You're going to push play. You're going to follow the calendar based on the program that you and your coach decide is right for you right now, because there are so many different programs to choose from, you guys, especially with, having all access on Beachbody On Demand. If you're like me, you might be tempted to get a little squirrely and jump around between programs, like, ooh, this one looks fun today. I kind of feel like dancing, and now I feel like doing some weights today, and now I really need to like sweat it out with some cardio. So I'm going to do this one a different day. But when you are just starting your journey in your first 30 days, I need you to have a heart-to-heart with your coach about what your goals are and what your specific struggles are, things that you've struggled with in the past, whether it's struggling with pushing play, struggling with, your nutrition, or, whatever it is. And your coach is going to help you pick out a program that's going to be appropriate for you for the starting point. Some of us might need something that's a little bit more low impact. And so you're not going to go for some of the more like intense cardio programs. You might be like me and go for one of the more low impact, like Pilates and yoga type program until you work your way up to some of the more intense programs. So then you're going to push play like as many days as you can following that calendar. I want you to shoot for at least 5 days a week. Most of the programs have workouts scheduled 6 days a week with one rest day built in. We're really built on progress, not perfection. So if you can get at least 5 days in, that's great. Okay. Make sure that you are taking that rest day though. They're built in to your calendar for a reason. Okay. So when I say follow the calendar, I mean follow the calendar and trust the experts that created these programs. You don't need to be adding in additional workouts on top of what you're already doing unless it's built into your calendar. Like 21 Day Fix, that third week, they'll build in some extra optional 30-minute workouts for that final week if you want to do them. But don't feel like you have to do like 2 programs at once or combine a couple things or go for a 5-mile run after you've already done your workout, because what you're going to be eating, your meal plan, is based on this, typical 30-minute workout that you're going to be doing, not on a bunch of additional exercise. But also don't expect to see results if you're pushing play like once or twice a week. So you need to shoot for that happy medium. Shoot for 5 days. I find myself, this is my slippery slope. If I don't press play for 3 days in a row, that's my slippery slope where I start talking myself out of it. And I can start making excuses. And I come up with other things that I should be doing instead of working out. So I make it a rule for myself that I do not go longer than 3 days before I push play again and get back into that routine. Because that was what killed me for years. Like when I would have a gym membership, I'd get into a good rhythm of going for a couple weeks, and then we'd go on vacation for a week, or I'd get a cold and not go for a few days. As soon as I missed like 3 days in a row, I was done. And then, they'd just collect my money for another year while I wasn't using my membership. So then So we have pushing play. The next piece of the recipe is drinking your shake every single day. This is a 7-day-a-week thing. You're not going to skip a day drinking your shake. It can take a week or two for your body to kind of adjust to all the nutrients in Shakeology. So if you're feeling a little bloated or gassy, just know that that's normal, and it's not a reason to stop drinking your shake. If you're feeling any of those symptoms, let your coach know. Typically what we're going to advise you to do is cut it down to like half a scoop until you can, for a couple weeks, and work your way up to drinking a full scoop. And if you're still having irritations, if you're drinking the regular formula, we can always try switching you to a vegan formula, which can be a little bit more sensitive on your tummy. But I promise you, like, drinking your Shakeology is one of those things where you're going to see the effects compounded over time. So you're not going to drink one shake and necessarily feel like a magical unicorn. Okay. Like, it tastes good, in the moment, but it takes, drinking it every day consecutively for a couple weeks to really start experiencing the benefits, like the weight loss, the changes that you're going to see in your skin and your hair and your nails, and the increased energy that you're going to have, and the craving control. You're not going to crave junk anymore. So make sure that you're drinking that and you're not skipping it. Okay. Then, like Jordan said, you're going to meal plan every week. You have to make it a date with yourself to set a plan for the week. Make it on Saturday, grocery shop, prep accordingly on Sunday. I like to literally tape my meal plan to my fridge. So when I find myself walking up to the fridge and I'm going to start grazing, I can look and see exactly what I need to be eating at this time of day. And if I'm really hungry, if I find myself wanting to eat or snack on something and it's not quite time to eat yet or something like that, or it's, the evening and it's just that habit of wanting to sit in front of the TV and snack, that was a hard one for me to break, because I'd put the kids to bed, I'd come out and sit on the couch, I'd turn on The Bachelor, and I'd need something to munch on. Not because I was hungry, but just out of habit, because it's what I'd been doing forever, So breaking that habit, I had to ask myself, am I hungry enough to eat an apple? If the answer was yes, then I could have the apple, and I can even slice it up and do it cutesy with some peanut butter and some, little dark chocolate chips and coconut, and make it all apple nachos and fancy, and then it's really good. If I didn't feel like an apple, then I did not need a snack. I was not hungry. Okay. So try and use that trick. Am I hungry enough to eat an apple? No. Okay. Then drink some water instead and see how you feel in a little bit. The last piece of the puzzle is plugging into the group, because the tribe support is going to be the glue that brings it all together. I want you to share your sweaty selfies. I know this is something that's super scary for people at first. A lot of people are like, I don't even know how to take a selfie. And it's it's okay. It doesn't matter what you look like. The point is that you showed up and you showed us that you did your workout. And I don't care if you're a sweaty mess. I want you to post it anyways for that accountability. I want you to post your shakes and let them know what recipes you're trying and what you're enjoying. And if you need suggestions for different recipes to try, share your meals, because we're all going to get inspiration from each other. And, we all love adding new recipes to, our life. And like I said, it's just extra accountability. The more that you're kind of posting in the group, we're going to love on you and, celebrate how amazing you're doing. And I'm not going to lie, it feels good when people are pepping you up and telling you you're doing a good job. And it's going to keep you it's going to keep you going and keep you posting. The friendships and the support that you're going to develop within this group are just priceless. Like I said, I've made all my best friends in this group, and it's just something that I can't imagine not having in my life. I'm going to be honest though, my very first group, my very first 30-day challenge as a challenger, I did not post a single thing. I was one of those flies on the wall that was watching and creeping on everybody's posts. I was doing my workouts and I was drinking my shakes, but I never once posted in my first group. Never. And because I was scared. Like, the only person in my group that I knew was my coach, and that was it. I didn't know anybody else. Well, so I got through the end of my first program, which was 21 Day Fix. I'd lost 3 pounds. It wasn't the 5 to 15 that they advertised, but, you know, I had to tell myself that the scale like did not define my success. My clothes were fitting better. The pounds were going down, so we were moving in the right direction. So I knew I was going to keep going. But that second month, that was when I started showing up in the group. That was when I started sharing my journey. I started posting my sweaty selfies and shakes and commenting on other girls' posts and really kind of developing those relationships and everything. And like I said, we don't try to base our success around the scale, but at the end of that month, I'd lost 10 pounds because I was showing up consistently in the group and I was just more invested. I remember that day, like stepping on the scale, which we only let you do like once a month. We're not weighing ourselves every single day. I stepped on the scale and I thought it was broken. Like, I remember carrying it from the bathroom, like out to the kitchen, because I was like, there must be something wrong with that like floor that I'm weighing myself on. Like, I didn't lose that much. And I'd like I literally moved my scale around like 3 different places to my house because I didn't believe that it was actually working. But it was that consistency of drinking my shake every day and pushing play over an amount of time, because it was a period of like, you know, 6 or 8 weeks by that point. You know, it wasn't the first week, it wasn't the second week, it was staying consistent with all the activities week after week after week. You know, it's like that quote that says, I keep quoting like all the things to you guys tonight, but it takes 4 weeks for you to start noticing a difference in your body. It takes 8 weeks for your friends and family to notice that your body is changing. And it takes 12 weeks for the rest of the world to notice. So give it 12 weeks. And I'm not joking. When I share my like before and after 12-week photos, like the results are crazy because I stayed consistent over time, over those 12 weeks. And I didn't give up after 2 weeks like I had been notorious for doing forever. So, you know, the best workout is the one that you actually do. The one that you actually push play on. It's going to give you momentum with your nutrition, because if you do that workout, you're not going to feel like going and screwing it up with food because that's, you know, that's totally possible. You know, really 80% of your results are based around nutrition. And if you're going to put that effort in pushing play and sweating it out, you don't want to go screw it up again in the kitchen. So you consciously eat better when you're pushing play consistently. There's going to be some days where it's really going to be a struggle, especially day 3. For some reason, day 3 is like a really hard day to push play. On those days where you just feel like you can't do it, I want you to push play for 10 minutes. Tell yourself you're going to do it for 10 minutes. That's the trick that I play with myself when I'm just not feeling it. I'll push play for 10 minutes and then I can stop. And what happens is usually, you know, by the time I look at the clock, it's been like 15 or 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, there's only like 10 minutes left. Okay, I can finish it out. And before I know it, I've done a whole workout when I really didn't feel like doing it in the first place. It's just that act of starting, actually pushing play. So like I said, trust the process. You know, don't cheat yourself on your meal plan, meaning don't, you know, follow the meal plan, but then when you're by yourself, go hit up the drive-through and, you know, eat a bunch of French fries like on your commute from here to there. But also don't cheat yourself out of containers. Don't feel like you need to not eat all the containers that you're supposed to be eating in a day, because not eating enough will do just as much damage as eating too much. Like, the amount of food that you're supposed to be eating every day is calculated specifically for you and the program that you're doing. So don't give yourself a bunch of extra containers, but don't cheat yourself from containers either. Eat the yellows. Eat your carbs. Do not be afraid of carbs, because they're very, very important for fueling your body. And like I said, trust the experts that created these programs. Trust us as your coaches and your leaders. And trust the process and don't overcomplicate it, because in 12 weeks, you're going to be feeling like a brand spanking new woman. And I am just so excited for that. So now I'm going to kick it over to Leslie, And she is going to help wrap us up with the big, burning why inside of us that keep us all going on this journey.
Thanks, Logan. I just want to touch on one thing you were saying, because you were talking about, trusting the process and don't screwing it up going through the drive-thru. And I just want you guys to know that, you can't screw it up by just going through the drive-thru for one meal, okay? So, I went through the drive-thru, okay? And, but guess what I did? I came to this group and, said I was struggling. Do you know what I mean? That's the beauty of this group. There's no judgment. And so, there's some people, sometimes I'm really jealous of, other girls in the group are super good at consistency. I was not one of those girls. Okay. I fell down a lot, but look at me now. Do you know what I mean? So it's okay to not be perfect. So if you're struggling, don't feel like you have to hide it. We need to know. So if you don't even want to tell the group, tell your coach, I did a video of me eating fries and fry sauce, in the back alleyway, you guys, because I had a bad day. But that was what I was used to, but it was progress, not perfection, Logan or Jordan or Haley said, I went from eating fast food once or twice a day to just, now it was a coping thing, and every now and then you'd find me in the alley. So, you know what I mean? Don't feel if you have a bad meal that you need to throw in the towel and start again on Monday. Don't do that. Logan tried to beat me in the head with that, so many times. Don't start over, just start again. So if you have a bad meal, forgive yourself and make the next meal an awesome one. That's it. Okay. So if you don't press play today, press play tomorrow. It's okay, so don't start over, just start again. Okay. Okay. So I will try to wrap this up quickly just to respect your guys' time, but this is really, really important. Okay. I'm going to talk to you guys about, you guys taking some time to figure out why you want this. Okay. Now, that may sound well, obviously I want this to get healthy, and I want to look good, and I want to feel good, and okay, yeah, we all know those things. I looked at Logan's picture, and I was well, look at her on the beach. Why wouldn't I want that? Okay, but those are surface whys, right? Those aren't the real whys. And a why is that driving reason that is going to get you to push play and to eat healthy every single day. It is going to be your motivation. It is going to help you in those moments of decision making. Like Logan said, when you go to that refrigerator and you decide if you're going to snack or have an apple, it's going to be in the forefront of your mind. It's going to drive you when times get tough. Things are going to happen in your life, and times are going to be hard. Are you going to stick with this, or are you going to throw in the towel? It's going to help you when you're laying in bed at 5 a.m. and the alarm goes off and you have to decide, am I going to get up or am I going to sleep in? Your why is so incredibly important, because it is going to be the reason if you stick to it or not, okay? So you have to figure out why you want this. And there's no wrong answer, okay? There's no wrong answer. It's different for everyone. But you can't pick someone else's why and make it yours, okay? And you can't do this for someone else, okay? And you can't pick an insignificant reason like, oh, I just want to wear a bikini, okay? You have to break it down, okay? So a lot of times we'll ask people, why do you want this? So some of the things we'll hear is, I want to lose weight. I want to wear skinny jeans again. I want to wear a bikini. I want to have more energy to play with my kids. Okay, so all those sound like, okay, those are legit whys. Every mom, wife wants those whys. Okay, but this is what you do. You add why to those. Okay, so just follow me here. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to wear skinny jeans? Why do you want to wear a bikini? Why do you want to have more energy to play with your kids? You have to peel it back like an onion, okay? So when we do that, we kind of come up with some deep crap. And it can be kind of hard, to really look at. Why do you want to wear skinny jeans? Well, I want to look better for my husband. I want to feel like I'm the only one that has his attention. Whoa. You know? Why do you want to lose weight? Well, I've been the chubby girl my whole life. I've been picked on my whole life, and I'm sick of it. I don't want to be the chubby girl anymore. I mean, that punches you in the gut, right? My cholesterol is high. My blood pressure's high. I don't want to die of a heart attack and not be here for my kids. That's a why that's going to get you out of bed in the morning. Why do you want to have more energy to play with your kids? Because my mom didn't play with us. You know, those are the whys that are going to get you out of bed, that are going to make you press play, that are going to make you stick with this program. And when you take the time to sit down and peel back those layers and really figure out what they are, and you might not get it with your first why. You know, you may say, well, I want to play with my kids more. Well, why do you want to play with your kids more? Well, why do you want to do that? Well, why do you want to just peel it back until you get to that thing where you're like, oh, that's it. You'll know what it is. Because you'll either probably get tears in your eyes, or it'll give you anxiety, it'll feel uncomfortable, and that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. If it scares you a little, it's a good feeling. It's a good thing, okay? Did it scare you to join this group a little bit? Good. You did it in spite of the fear. So peeling back your layers and figuring out your why is probably going to be a little bit out of your comfort zone. And for me, sharing that with people was really scary. And sharing that with my coach was scary. But it held me accountable. And when you figure out what that why is, post that shit up wherever you can see it. I'm serious. Put it on your bathroom mirror so it is the first thing you see in the morning. Put it as your screensaver on your phone if you need to, or a picture that reminds you of what it is. Put it in your car. Put it on your refrigerator. Put it on your desk. Whatever. You need a reminder of why you're doing this. And that way it's in the forefront of your mind so that you don't forget it. You will get to a place where you don't forget it. But until you get to that point, you have to keep reminding yourself. So, personally, I've learned on this journey that if it scares you a little bit, it's probably a really good thing to do. So, you know, do something you're a little bit not ready to do. You probably weren't ready to take those before pictures, but you did them anyways because you're ready for something different. And this is part of that process. It's a little bit scary. If you're not comfortable with sharing it with everybody, share it with your coach. But I really, really think you should. I mean, this is such a safe place, you guys. I have told people in these groups more things about myself than I have told my family and some of my best friends. Like, these are my best friends. Because this place is safe. I mean that. Like, I have talked about eating disorders and abuse and things that I never thought I would tell anybody. But that they were at the root of why I was emotionally eating, why I was coping, why I had the weight on in the first place. So if I didn't talk about it, we weren't getting anywhere. Or I could lose it and gain it back. So you have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. And we will never push you to do something that you don't want to do, but we will encourage you and push you a little bit because we know it's going to benefit you, because we've watched it. We've watched hundreds of girls in our groups, hundreds, you guys, succeed because they stepped out of their comfort zone. Right, guys? I mean, seriously, like hundreds. I mean, it gives me goosebumps and makes us cry every single time. It's incredible. So I want you guys to start thinking about your why. That's part of your call to action tonight. And if you guys are watching this, later, because we're recording, please start thinking about your why, because we're going to ask you about that later. And then before you even do that, make sure that you guys have gone and introduced yourself in the group. Like Logan said, like we really, really want you to lean into this group. So go introduce yourself. That doesn't mean that this group needs to be your life, okay? Like set an alarm for 3 minutes a day and go love on some people. Because I cannot even tell you, it is so true that you get out what you put in. And if you come into this group and you love on people and cheer others on, you start to believe in yourself more, and it fills your flipping cup like nobody's business. And suddenly you shut down your phone and you feel like you can take on the world because you're part of something bigger. And don't we all want to be part of something bigger? I mean, I just think there's this innate desire in all of us to be part of something bigger. And now you guys are. You are. This is a 30-day group where after this, you are, going to move on to even a bigger tribe. And like, we're never leaving you. Like, we are your coaches for life. This is your tribe for life. And that's huge. So those are the things I want you guys to start thinking about moving forward. Start thinking about your why. If you have a close friend that you want to talk to about it, or you want to talk to your coach about it, or your husband, those are great people to talk to about it. Why do I want this so bad? And then go introduce yourself and start leaning into the group. And those are my 2 biggest tips. You guys, literally, I don't think you can fail if you do those things. I really don't. So that's all I got, Haley.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for taking some time tonight to join us. And I hope you guys are all excited for day 1 tomorrow. I know we are. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to your coach, post in the group, reach out to one of us. That's what we are here for. All right, you guys. We will see you guys in the morning, seeing everybody's sweaty selfies, right? All right. Bye, guys.